day. Yay.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
We ruined a whole board.
I'm Jamie, and this is Dan. We're two frugal dreamers trying to turn this 1997 International Fire Crew transport bus into the mobile tiny home of our dreams. And you've got a front row seat to all the highs, lows, and moments in between on this wild ride we call bus life.
So today on Busing on a Budget, we have put up a little bit of the ceiling so far. Not a ton, but some of it. Looks pretty decent. Got some puck light holes cut out for the lights. Everything's held in with rivets so far. These things work amazing. So much grip strength. Next row of lights will be somewhere above the kitchen counter. Then we'll have semi-indirect overhead lighting for the rest of the room. Then we'll have cabinet lights. It's always a bit concerning when you read something that says not for high humidity environments. I mean, it's not like a bathroom. Well, actually it has a bathroom in it, so a little bit. So the first step, get your board, cut it to size. You want to try to stagger the joints if possible. Makes them look a little nicer. So I've already got a few in. I'm gonna put another row in. The tongue just slides right in. Slide it all the way down towards the end. More. Alright, push it in, make sure it's fully seated into the tongue. This drill's pretty loud, so I like to wear earplugs personally. Reverberate. I just put a little bit of oil on the drill bit. So if I'm going through metal, it's a little bit nicer on the bit. You lubricate it, just keep it sharp. So technically, I think you're supposed to have slightly bigger drill bit than the one that I do. That was a terrible placement. Sometimes that's just how it is. All right, when you're doing the rivet, you want to push up, make sure that it's fully seated behind the material. Pull, hold, pop up. Rivet head breaks off. Make sure to throw that on the ground. Joking, don't do that. Put them somewhere safe and smart because they are sharp. Got the back end. Now we're gonna do the middle. Make sure to reseat the wood. Make sure everything's still all lined up pretty much. All of these ones are in actual support beams, which I don't think was a good idea personally.
5 minutes later.
So my drill bit's a little bit small, so I just have to sort of round it out at the end to make it fit. Alright, looking good so far. That's one board. I think we've got like 20 more of these to go or something ridiculous. Who knows? One half done. Let's do the other half, huh? got a few lights in so far. Got these handy dandy wire sheath. Put the wires together, melt the solder, and then you've got a connection. In my case, gold is positive. It's our light, pretty small. White is positive on this. So I've already cut these down to size. All right, so we're gonna put two of these together. I'm gonna get that on there first. So all three wires are in there. Once that solder melts, you'll have a nice clean connection. If you're cheap and you don't want to spend money on a solder or a heat gun, you can just pull the wiring out of the way. Grab a handy dandy lighter. Make sure you're not under anything too flammable. Your wiring's in the right spot. So these bands on the outside are glue. The inside is solder. Don't leave the flame too long on one spot or it will melt through. You want to wait till the outer coating is like fully cooled. Otherwise you can tear it and split it. Solder has melted and flowed into the wire. What we want. Here's the fun part. This is supposedly 3M VHB. I don't know about that. I got one of the cheaper ones off Amazon. Doesn't hold like 3M VHB in the past has, so got my doubts. But even knockoff 3M VHB foam, cheapo stuff you can just buy if you search for VHB on Amazon. Even that still works. If you do the right surface prep when you're doing adhesives is key. Otherwise, it's just gonna peel off. A handy dandy rag up here, an old gallon of mineral spirits. Stuff is incredibly fumy. So I literally just do like a little bloop. Like you really don't need much. Wipe off the roof, wipe off the back of the LED. After you've done that, do not touch the back of the light, do not touch the ceiling. You touch it, you'll get your fingerprints right back. You just cleaned off. We're gonna yard work. So I like to do one right there. I try my best to only touch just a tiny little part of it with like your fingertip. Like it's gonna be a little bit inevitable. So make sure it's really pushed down. They sell these things. These are rollers and you can, that applies quote unquote even pressure. Oops. Now, the next part is easiest with tweezers. I don't have those, but I do have a razor blade, so that'll work too. Peel off all of these little red pieces of tape. The worst part about doing adhesive projects is removing the fuck. There was one time I had like 20 or 30 of these little pieces on a wall. I must have spent 45 minutes peeling every single one. I didn't know about the razor blade or tweezer trick, so I literally, using my fingernails, live and learn. The next step is the hardest part. This is a really shallow hole. These boards are only 1/4 inch thick. This light is, I don't know how much, but like 0.2 probably. So I need to get all the wiring around the center of the light onto the outside edge so that the VHB can touch the ceiling. Takes a little bit of finesse. As you can see, it is a literal perfect fit on these ones. So that's fun. So first step, you help, don't touch the VHB. Try to help guide the wires by like pulling them around. Alright. Can we, come on, let me in, do it. Oh, come on. Alright, we were close. Oh. No, I don't think that's right. Alright, so the current problem, that part of the wire is bunching up above the back of it, which prevents all of it from going in flush. Oh, oh! Got close that time though, really close. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes. Alrighty, so you'll know it's in when it's actually flat. When you can push on it, it doesn't pivot, doesn't bounce. We've got 1 row of lights in, 3 out of 5. We're good on the 3rd one right now. If you happen to have an old small 12-volt battery around, like from a motorcycle or lawn tractor, snowmobile, any of those things, it's hard to see, but that is a red plus. That is a black minus. Copper red wire into the positive. Like for a really great connection, have almost no wires. That's the silver. Now it burns down, and that's how you know you did it right. When everything's on fire, that means you nailed it. And if it's working, well then that means you have to redo it until it catches fire. Because obviously it's not working if it's not on fire. Jokes aside, there are 3 lights. Or as Picard would say,
There are 4 lights!
that's an old shitty Star Trek reference.
Just so proud of how everything's looking. I could cry.
This thing, when all the lights are on, it's gonna be brighter than our fucking house. I think it already is about as bright as our house, to be honest. There's the $40 one and the cheapo one. I will also say that the diffuser plate on these, beautiful. Looks amazing. The diffuser plate on these, not so much. You can really tell that there's LEDs in there. I mean, even like holding it at a certain angle, you can see the grid pattern. So, it's not the best. But I think it was $7 for 6 of these. Us tall people, we need all the head height that we can get. So, you know, if I were to put like inch large straps up there, then that means I gotta like, you know, I gotta like crouch down, and I don't want to do that. So these are riveted directly to the roof, and then the lights are in there. So even when I'm walking here, hey, look at that. 0 obstruction. Lubricate your drill bit. Oh, too much lube. That's what she said.